If you're thinking about making a candle, but you're not sure what fragrance oils to use, this video is for you. First off, I want to welcome all the new viewers here. My name is Serene. I am the owner of Serene Aromas, and I make handmade candles and natural skincare for dry and sensitive skin. Today, I'm breaking down exactly what you need to look for in a fragrance oil when you're trying to make candles. What is a fragrance oil? It is important to know that a fragrance oil is a man-made oil that has a mixture of synthetic and natural compounds to create a scent. Some of them may have essential oils embedded into them, but for the most part, they're usually man-made. And because of that, they're great for giving you a really good scent throw. They have more of a consistent performance for your candles, and they're cheaper and easier to work with. In comparison to the fragrance oils, we have what is called an essential oil. This is gonna be a more natural oil that is derived from plants that I would not recommend for beginner candle maker. First off, they're very expensive and very tricky to work with when it comes to candle making because their flash points are super low, which means they're not the best option for candle making specifically. Not only that, the scent throw for an essential oil is going to be way lower than that compared to a fragrance oil. But if you do want that natural option and you do want to provide your customers with a scent that is aromatherapy like I do, then you can look for natural blends and specifically look for essential oils with higher flash points so that you can use them in your candles and not have to worry about whether they're burning off when your candle is lit. So knowing the qualities of what makes a fragrance oil, we're gonna move on to talking about what makes it good for candle making specifically. First off, we have the flash point. This is basically the highest temperature that your fragrance can reach before it completely burns off and you're not able to smell it at all. This can vary for each and every single fragrance that you buy, not only because of the fragrance itself, but also because of the company that you're buying it from. With that said, you need to purchase a fragrance oil that has a very high flash point, meaning that the temperature that it reaches before it burns off is super high, preferably above the temperature where your wax melts to. What I specifically look for is for fragrance oils that have a flash point of 185 degrees Fahrenheit or higher. So I know when I melt my wax to that temperature, the fragrance being mixed in there will not burn off when I'm mixing it, and the fragrance will also not burn off when the candle is lit and my customers are using it. So when you're looking for a fragrance, make sure you look at the product information page on the website that you're purchasing it from. This will have all the information about the flash point and the temperatures that the oil should be used at. The next thing that you should look for in a fragrance for candle making is that it is specifically meant for candles, because not all fragrances are candle safe. So you have to make sure that you look at the website specifically for candle grade oils or those that have an IFRA certificate. This is gonna show what the oil is safe to use for. So make sure you're not just grabbing any type of oils for skincare or anything of the sort, because they're not all the same and they're not all good quality for candle making. The next thing that you should be looking for in a fragrance is that it is phthalate free. And if you don't know what a phthalate is, then you definitely should look it up. This is a chemical that is known to be connected to health problems that affect things like your hormone levels, your reproductive system, and even cause developmental issues. If you're making a candle that has phthalate in it, then that means you're exposing your customers to this chemical that may be harmful to their health. And even though having that chemical in a candle scent might make it last longer and make the scent stronger, there are several different alternatives that you can find that actually have the same effect and can provide your candles better, stronger, and toxin-free scent. All you have to do is put in the time and your research. So having a candle oil that is phthalate free is especially important if you're making your candles and you're advertising them as natural. Now, this next thing is not necessarily a requirement when it comes to your fragrance oils, but more so a preference. And it is for you to look for fragrance oils that have little amounts of vanilla in them. And I say this because those fragrance oils that have high levels of vanilla in them can discolor your wax over time. So you'll see that your wax has changed color from white to maybe a dark yellow yellow or brown color, even though it doesn't really affect the candle itself because it's still gonna burn the exact same. It's still gonna smell great. It's just not really appealing to the eye. But if you do want to use fragrances that have vanilla in them, what I recommend you do is ask your supplier if they provide a stabilized version of that oil so that you don't experience the discoloration that comes with using a vanilla oil within your candle wax. Another thing that I recommend you look for when you're purchasing your fragrance oils is a company that is reputable. This is gonna be very important because a lot of companies do not provide the same quality of fragrance oils. You're going to want to find a company that has the flash points, the product information, reviews on how the scent performs, and even what the fragrance can be used for. All of this information is gonna be so important when you're picking your fragrance out because it's gonna give you as much information as possible so that you can choose which fragrance is best for your candle making. Now, with all of that said, what I want you to understand is that when you're buying your fragrance oils, you have to buy smaller amounts when you're first starting your candle making journey. And that is because for each and every single fragrance that you buy, you have to test them out for your candles. You're gonna wanna make sure that the cold throw and the hot throw of the candle are both good enough when you make them. Sometimes the scent can smell amazing in the bottle and smell terrible in your candle. And sometimes it may smell amazing in the bottle, and when you actually finish making your candles, you notice that there's no scent at all. That may be because the flash point has been reached, or maybe you didn't mix the scent enough with the wax for it to really stick with it. Sometimes the scent may not even be for candle making. So you have to definitely test out the scents before you make bulk candles. Another bonus tip for you is keeping a journal where you keep track of all the fragrance that you're using in your candle making journey. This is gonna save you a lot of time, money, and prevent you from having to play a guessing game on what you did in your last candle that you need to do better in this candle that you're currently making. So make sure you keep track of the wax type, the oil that you're using, the scent throw, how the candle is burning, how the scent is when it's burning, all of those things. You need to keep track of each and every single one of them, especially when it comes to the scent throw, so that you can know exactly how your candle is performing over time. So to recap all of this information, you need to look for fragrance oils that have a very high flash point so they don't burn. You also need to look for candle safe oils rather than any type of oil that is out there that has scent. You also need to choose phthalate-free oils so that the toxic chemicals within those specific oils do not harm your customers. And as I mentioned, a preference of mine is looking for oils that have very little amounts of vanilla in them so that my candle wax don't discolor over time. But again, this is a preference of mine that you don't have to look for specifically for your candle making. And last, of course, is buying your candle fragrance oils from companies that are reputable, that have all the information that you're looking for. Now, if you found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe and stay tuned for my weekly videos about candle making and small business content. Let me know your favorite fragrance in the comments below, and don't forget to test before you invest. Until next time, bye.